What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. And is this the video people have been waiting for? They want to know all about Tom Brady. And yeah, he seems to have made his decision going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As of the time of this recording, the details not quite yet released. Does look like he's going to be right around that $30 million a year, though, to go to Tampa Bay. So what now? Everybody's been talking about where's Tom Brady going to go? Is he going back to New England? Is it Tampa? Is it the Chargers? I mean, there's a lot of different options out there, but choosing Tampa Bay, all we can really do from this point on is kind of just look at that roster as a whole and what can we expect. But like I said, here's the details of the deals that we do know. He's estimated right around $30 million a year going to Tampa Bay. He spent his last 20 seasons in New England, which I'm sure you're well aware of. He now joins a Bruce Arians offense that has been top 5 in pass attempts the last 3 years that he's been a head coach in the NFL. Does he get that green light, kind of like Jameis got here in Tampa Bay? You have to think that he's not going to limit Tom Brady whatsoever. But some more rumors are starting to come out that Tom wants Antonio Brown also. We already know they have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, the tight end position. And now he wants to add Antonio Brown. I don't know if that's exactly what needs to happen in Tampa Bay or not. But before we dive into this anymore, let's take a look at what Tampa was just last year. All right, so here's the good things about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2019. They finished third in the NFL in total offense, 398 yards per game. They finished first in the NFL in passing yards per game, 303 yards per game. Finished fourth in the NFL in pass attempts with 630 on the season. They finished 2019 as the number 1 rushing defense, allowing only 73.8 yards per game, and Pro Football Focus had their offensive line ranked at 7th overall following the 2019 season. They were vastly improved as the season went on, especially on the interior at the guard and center positions. They need a little bit of help on the tackles, which I do expect them to address either here in free agency or through the draft. Now, some of the bad. Well, they finished third worst in the NFL in passing yards allowed. 4,322 yards allowed through the air against the Tampa Bay secondary. They finished 9th worst in the NFL in rushing yards per game on offense, only gaining 95 yards per game. And then you add on top of that penalties. They allowed the 3rd most penalty yards in all of the NFL with 1,111 yards of penalties. That will absolutely kill a team. So you hear a lot of speculations. You hear a lot of people talking now, and this is kind of what the 2020 Bucs roster will look like. They got Tom Brady, Ronald Jones, O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Now, people already want to speculate that, this move really hurts the value of Mike Evans because, quotation fingers, Tom can't throw the deep ball anymore. And I get that. You're right. Tom doesn't go downfield as much as he may have used to, but that does not mean that the overall value takes a huge hit. Mike Evans' value was already somewhat down going into 2020 anyway. Is he somebody you're going to just avoid now? More than likely not. We just have to find that sweet spot for where his value is. People then also want to assume that Chris Godwin is going to be the second coming of Randy Moss with Tom Brady under center. I don't see that. I mean, Chris Godwin went out and had himself a great year last year with Jameis Winston. Does that mean that he comes in here and takes it to another stratosphere in 2020? No, I don't think so. He is still obviously one of the top wide receivers in football, somebody who you want to have on your team, but just like with everybody else, everybody has a value. Is he going to be drastically improved with Tom Brady? I don't see that numbers-wise. And then you take over the tight end position, and now people want to assume that the Tom Brady to O.J. Howard connection is going to be what the old-school Brady and Gronk connection were. Listen, just a few months ago, people were writing off O.J. Howard altogether. He was in that doghouse with Bruce Arians. Does he get a better opportunity? Yeah, he probably will here in 2020. He has that chance to really take a step forward. We know that if Tom Brady does limit those down-the-field throws, that O.J. Howard could benefit from a lot of underneath passing routes that could really boost his numbers and get him maybe into the top 12 as far as fantasy football tight ends go. But it doesn't take a whole lot to get inside the top 12 for fantasy football tight ends, so that's not saying a whole lot. However, the opportunity is going to be there. Then lastly, you have people out there thinking that Ronald Jones still sucks and that Tampa Bay should really go out there and get another running back. Okay, this one is true. He does still suck, and they do need to go out and get a different running back. The offensive line, we already mentioned, it's improved. They need a ball carrier in the backfield that has better vision than Ronald Jones. The guy has potential. He just does not have consistency, and another one of these guys that Bruce Arians just does not believe in. That was evident back in 2019. You looking for a few fun facts for Tom Brady? Well, I reached out to our team here and said, hey, give me a handful of things that I can throw up on the screen that maybe you, the viewer, don't know. First one up, I got to give credit to Field Yates. No, he's not a part of the team. He works for ESPN, but he had a chance to tweet this out before I got it into a video. Therefore, I didn't want to make it look like I stole his information, so I'm giving him credit for you. There you go, Field. But anyway, Tom Brady has thrown less interceptions the last 4 years combined with 29 than Jameis Winston has thrown in 2019 alone with 30. What about our very own Chris Kennedy, one of the writers for our staff? Tom Brady has won more games with 249 wins than the previous 28 Tampa Bay quarterbacks combined, who have 236. Jesse H. Sports, another one of our writers here for the staff, both Jameis Winston and Tom Brady finished 2019 with a QBR of 53.7. Our very own Matt Galloway, shout out Mac for this one. This is a good one right here. Brady is the 11th Hall of Fame quarterback to switch teams late in his career. We know about Manning, Favre, Kurt Warner, Warren Moon, Joe Montana, just to name a few. He's number 11 on that list. All right, lastly, because one Chris isn't enough, our staff has to have two of them. Shout out Chris ADF here. Brady's oldest son, Jack, is from a previous relationship. Fun fact for somebody, I guess. But anyway, moving on from those, this is kind of what we know going into 2020, right? We can't really, make a bunch of guesses. There's still too much time left in free agency, and the NFL draft is coming up here soon. You're going to find a lot of other channels. You're going to find a lot of other media outlets that want to go out there and throw out projections and, let you know who's going to be a sleeper, who's going to bust, who's going to suck, who's going to be awesome. Really, it's not worth two craps at this point because everybody's just giving you a guess. Now, I understand that fantasy football, for the most part, is based off of opinion and facts. Understood. However, right now, we don't have all the facts, so I can't really base an opinion off of it. On the surface, do I think this drastically improves the fantasy value of everything Tampa Bay? No, I don't. Tom Brady, he's going to come into a system that's going to allow him to throw a lot. Now, how much do they really utilize the running game? That's something that Tom Brady's really always have. They're not going to be able to do that, but can Tom Brady go out there and throw it 40, 45 times a game like they did with Jameis? They were constantly trailing in Tampa Bay, having to throw the ball all 4 quarters. Maybe they don't. Like I said, there are just so many factors that once the draft is over, we'll get a clearer picture. I'm not going to come out here right now and say, you got to buy Chris Godwin, you got to avoid Mike Evans, that O.J. Howard's a top 5 tight end. It's too early for that. If you hear that on other channels, take it with a grain of salt because it's not facts. It's not giving you guys a fair chance to make a good opinion for yourself. But there's a lot of information out there, right? And we're going to continue to get more as the weeks progress. And that's what this is all about, is building it throughout the offseason. A lot of people want to pick up and run with it, late July, early August, and maybe a little bit too late. We build these facts all offseason to give you the opportunity to form that informed opinion so that you can make the best choices possible here in 2020. Now, if you're just here as an NFL fan, your team is going to get better. Tampa Bay is going to win more ball games. Are they going to go out there and set the world on fire? No, they're in a tough division. Well, at least part of it is tough. They have to deal with the New Orleans Saints. Carolina seems to be completely giving up all hope at things right now. But, it's going to be an interesting year to have Tom Brady and Drew Brees in the same division, having them match off twice a year. That's going to be something fun to look forward to. But as far as fantasy football goes, don't stress out about it yet. We have time, and after the draft, we'll put out a video for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers letting you know what we feel that offense is really going to look like here in 2020. But we greatly appreciate the support. If you have other questions, you have comments, you want to make a statement about this, feel free to do it down below in the comment section. I would love to interact with as many of you guys as I possibly can. There's going to be more free agent videos coming out. Still a few big names left out there. Where's Melvin Gordon going to sign? That's what the next big name is going to be. Looking forward to that. Greatly appreciate the support. Make sure you hit that like button for me. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We got year-long football content, and we're looking forward to it. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you later.